March in 1956. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the United States and Texas. The combined radio networks are bringing you the coverage of the great nominating convention of 1956. This is H.B. Cottoncorn, speaking to you from 84 stories above the convention floor in a PWA Constellation plane. I'm late. I was in Europe prior to this convention, and I missed the boat. This isn't the first time I missed the boat. There was Dewey and Truman in 1948. But I see there is action down on the floor now, so I switch you to Walter Sickness.
Yes, HB, there certainly is action down here on the floor.
Shoot 50. Just faded.
There's been a great movement to a dark horse candidate, which has been gaining momentum. It's been many years since a horse has been nominated to a post, so we here tonight may be witnessing some great moments in history. Yes, there he comes now, rounding the turn, led by his backers, the Dark Horse. Well, there's another $2 down the drain. Now back to H.B. Cottoncorn.
Thank you, Walter. We are now going to switch to Headhunter for a description of the start of the conventions. Take it away, Headhunter. I have a lady in the balcony, Doctor. That's fine, but next convention, I work the balcony.
Mr. Chairman.
The chair recognizes the delegate from Alabama. For what purpose does the delegate rise?
Some Yankee put a lighted cigar stub on my chair.
This is Headhunter again. A delegate from Brooklyn has the floor now and is about to make his nomination. The nominee will probably be accepted by acclamation as there is no opposition to him. Now the delegate from Brooklyn, Representative J.J. Cornplaster.
I wish to present to the convention the name of a great American. My nominee is honest and truthful and is loaded with integrity. 90 proof integrity. He don't know the meaning of the word corruption. He don't know the meaning of the word bribery. In fact, he don't know the meaning of a lot of words. And it is well known to one and all that he is the finest politician that money can buy. I give you Honest Joe Smith.
Headhunter, speaking once more. I'm overwhelmed, ladies and gentlemen. I was standing next to Honest Joe Smith when his name was placed in nomination, and I'm speechless at the goings-on here. I had some notes that I was going to read about Honest Joe Smith in my cigar box, but I find that my cigars are gone. So I return you to H.B. Cottoncorn.
Honest Joe Smith, a name to be remembered. He has been nominated by acclamation. Oh, there was a bit of resistance put up, but the attempts failed. First, a former executive tried to push his candidate, but when he saw the unanimous approval of Smith, he accepted him, smiled, shook hands, and graciously went back to the piano. Then a delegate from Iowa rose to nominate someone. I didn't get the name clearly with all the noise, but it sounded like Vixen or Hickson or something. However, the chairman took a dim view of these shenanigans. The result was the delegate lost his job and is being deported and exiled to the remote tundras of Siberia. Now I see a signal from the bandstand. So we switch to John Weekly on the bandwagon.
I'm off the wagon for good, buddy. So what do you say? We switch you now to the booth.
Now we pause for a message from our sponsor, the Flegel Bugle Company. Yes, that beautiful call was sounded on a Flegel bugle. There is no greater enjoyment for the family on a pleasant Sunday afternoon than the sight and sound of Junior with his Flegel bugle. Now, at long last, after years of research, for the discriminating customer who wants the ultimate in modern design, Flegel presents the Flegel Convertible. A mellow-toned bugle by day, and the world's finest mousetrap by night. Remember, at Flegel, noise is our most important product. You can be heard if it's Flegel. Now back to the platform to hear the acceptance speech by Honest Joe Smith.
because you've bestowed upon me, an ordinary hole-in-the-shoe fella, a great honor. I could give you a long political speech now, but that isn't the type of campaign I'm going to wage. I'm not going to go on television with my little dog by my side, 'cause I ain't after the Rin-Tin-Tin vote. I could promise you a color television in every room. But we all know every house ain't got electricity yet. All I have to say is, if I'm elected, I'm going to work my brain to the bone to give you, the people, what you deserve. From the sunny shores of Key West to the rolling greens of Burning Tree, I will extol our policy of dynamic stagnation. Our opponents have been robbing you long enough. I say, give me a chance!
There you have it. It's on the record. Honest Joe. And now we await the campaign and the day of election. You have been an ear witness to the first part of the big two-part show. The convention and nomination for 56 is over, but we know you'll flip on part 2. Good evening, America. On this election night, the candidates have run a good race, and the results are in the hands of the electorate. Here in our super control room, we're prepared to give you the latest election results, analysis, and up-to-the-minute news. We switch you now to Looney Vac, the electronic brain, and take it away, Edward R. Tomorrow. This is Edward R. Tomorrow. I am seated next to Looney Vac, the electronic brain. This brain will be fed with all available data that comes in on the election and will then tabulate, formulate, matriculate, gyrate, rock and roll, and finally give the trend of the nation. Right now, we have reports from 1,123 of the 7 million precincts to be heard from. These reports have been fed to Looney Vac, and while we wait for the brain's prediction, we will switch to another man who is famous for his predictions. Come in, Drew Fearsome. This is Drew Fearsome. As you know, I have predicted many things, and I have compiled an amazing record for accuracy. I have been 87% correct, 32% of the time. That is because I'm Drew Fearsome, and no other commentator can make that statement. So far, we have reports from 1/1,000,000th of the voting precincts of the country. The count shows that candidate Honest Joe Smith is leading by exactly 1 vote, and this is on a challenged ballot. I can definitely state that with no positive trend showing, it can be reported from reliable sources which cannot be revealed that there is definitely an election on tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening to you. This is Con Jameson Sweeback in Radio Middle. We have another great predictor with us tonight. Since the big upset in the predictions of 1948, this public opinion pollster has been working to perfect a new system of poll taking that will be infallible. We call upon Dr. Elmo Trott. What, Dr. Trott, do you have to say about today's election?
Our new system requires that we make public the results of our poll tomorrow. This will ensure our infallibility.
Come in now, Edward R. Tomorrow. What does Looney Vac say? We are still feeding all election data to the machine. We should have some kind of an answer from Looney Vac in a few minutes. But first, a word from our sponsor. If you want the best cigarette, remember, cigarettes are made solely from filters. They contain no tobacco. King size with cork on the inside. So next time you want to smoke, buy cigarettes. And remember, spelled backwards is... Now back to Edward R. Tomorrow and Looney Vac. Looney Vac has been working steadily, computing and filing away all the data that has been fed into it. And now I believe we're about to get a prediction from this giant electronic brain. We have been feeding in the following statistics. voting population, number of registered voters, weather conditions across the nation, past performances of candidates, pre-election primary voting records, and finally, the tabulations of this hour. And now, here are the results from LuniVac, the infallible electronic brain. And LuniVac says, Notre Dame 52, Slippery Rock teachers, nothing. And now, back to Sam Konza Jemaran. We're back in Radio Middle again, and it's all over. Honest Joe Smith has been elected. The opposition has admitted defeat. The defeated candidate has telegrammed the winner as follows. I congratulate you on your victory and offer my full support. And by the way, the telegram was sent collect. We switch now to the campaign headquarters of the victorious candidate at the Constant Mildew Hotel and reporter Kenneth Bing Bang. This is Kenneth Bing Bang of the Honest Joe Smith headquarters. Smith has won. The crowd here is jubilant. Earlier this evening, all the campaign workers and party faithful were treated to a sumptuous banquet of fish heads and rice. We are now awaiting the arrival of the winner. And now, here he is, coming into the room. Mr. Smith is at the microphones, and in a moment, we will hear his victory address. And ladies and gentlemen, here is Mr. Smith.
Fellow citizens, I want to thank all the people who have worked so hard for this victory, especially our campaign manager, Sam the Bookie, who laid off all the bets. Let us now unite. During this campaign, there was mudslinging of an unprecedented character, but the voters saw the truth and elected me anyway. They said I was a big hand. They screamed that in a crisis I was chicken. I was meek as a lamb, they bellowed. But the truth is known, I'm a square shooter, that is. I take the bull by the horns and cut right through to the meat of the issues. My cleaver cuts clean to the bone. I've been accused of pork barrel politics, but I brought home the bacon. I've had all sorts of tripe slung at me and have been called calf-livered, but I have nailed my opponents to the stakes. Now I have but one more thing to say in conclusion. You'll never get a bum steer from me, not as long as I am president of the United Confederation of Butchers. I thank you.